everybody. Welcome to the Asian Coaching Supervision Network. We meet the last Wednesday in the month in Asia, the last Tuesday in the US. And we have different speakers, members from the community, to do different webinars and sessions on topics related to coaching supervision. The goal is to bring the colleagues in Asia and Australia and New Zealand too, in that area of the world. That is a good time in the morning for you, but we want to engage everybody who wants to participate in the world, and particularly our colleagues from Europe make a big effort to be very early, Antoine and Michelle. Michelle has been with us since the first session, since the beginning, so it's a great supporter of this network. And it's nice to see faces that keep participating, like Sinjo, who also did a session for us. And eventually, I would like to see everybody to do a session one day. So it is open to anybody who wants to participate. So today we have Anushly from Sri Lanka, a recent graduate from a coaching supervision program, and talking about a topic that is very relevant. It's about supervision of team coaching. It's a relatively new topic in the Americas, not in Europe. Michelle wrote a book about it in French, correct? Unfortunately, we don't have the version in English to learn what you have to say, but we may invite you to come to tell us, in English, what is your book about. But this is a topic that I think many supervisors are interested in, and that's the reason why we're going to have a series on this topic. So today, Anushly is going to be covering. Next month, we're going to have another 3 colleagues presenting on the similar topic related to team coaching supervision. 3 people that went with you, Michelle, to the program, the certification that a few colleagues put together, Clutterbuck and his team, that you participated, and Catherine Holt, and a couple of more people are going to be also presenting next month.
I attended this course.
Yeah, the course that you attended with them. So there they are going to be sharing some other stuff that they have learned. Okay. Anushly, great. Thank you for accepting the invitation. Great to have you with us. What would you like people to know about you before you start doing the work? And I don't know if you want people to introduce themselves really fast or put their information in the chat room. It's your time, your space. You decide. You're the boss here.
Thank you so much, Damien. So once again, a warm welcome to all of you. Maybe I like to hear from all of you something that you would like me to know, but let it be in one sentence or one word. And also which country you're from, and whether you're a team coach, whether you're a team coach supervisor, or are you or maybe you're a coach but not a team coach, or maybe you're not a coach yet in your journey. That's okay. I just want to know, like, where do you come from, the space that you come from. So again, I'm repeating the country, whether you're what type of coach you are, whether you're a team coach or you're not a team coach or a team coach supervisor. And the third thing is something that you would like me and all of us to know about you in one sentence or one word. Who likes to go first?
Michel, coming from France, coach supervisor. I train supervisors. I am also a team coach. And also in France, we have a special thing called organization coaching. So, and I work on supervision of organization coaching.
Thank you, Michelle, for sharing. Who likes to go next? Yes,
I could go next. My name is Cian. Everybody calls me Cian, but Cian Murthy is my full name. I'm from Mumbai in India. I got into coaching around 2011 after I did my stint with corporate world, and I have been coaching since 2011. And right now I'm with Damien, trying to learn a little bit more about coaching supervision. So I'm one of his students in the cohort 16. And yes, like Vanchi just put up, I was the ICF president for Mumbai chapter till about a year ago.
Thank you, Murthy. Thank you for sharing about yourself. Who likes to go next?
Marco.
Yes.
Muted.
Yes. Yes, Vanchinathan.
Yeah, I'm Vanchinathan Sambadamurthy Kumar. You can call me as Kumar.
Kumar.
I'm
Okay.
based at Mumbai. I'm keen in team coaching and team coaching supervision. I have taken the test for team coaching, waiting for the results. I would like to understand what is team coaching supervision is about. Presently, I'm graduating from cohort 15. I'd like to learn from you all.
Thank you for sharing, Kumar.
I will follow Kumar. We in the same cohort of coaching supervision training with Damian, and we are approaching the end of it. So I can say that I'm coach supervisor in training, but I'm very blessed with clients. So I must say that I already started doing a little bit of team coaching supervision as well. I take what comes to me somehow. But mainly I'm coach since 2009 and team coach as well. And I participated in the same exam as you all, like most of you here around team coaching and ICF. And I'm originally Polish, but I live in California now. So that's all.
Thank you for sharing, Inga. And it was a great pleasure to be with you in the team coaching training. Yes. Who likes to go next? Yes.
Hi, I'm Antoine from France. I'm a coach, a team coach, and recently trained supervisor, and I haven't done team supervision yet. So I'm very interested about what's going to be said, and in particular, maybe the point of view around Asia on this subject.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, Sim, would you like to share in your own words?
Thank you. So I'm Sim Chu from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm a coach supervisor as well as executive coaching. In team coaching, I do support innovation programs or leadership development programs in team coaching. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Sophia, would you like to share in your own words about yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm in Brisbane, Australia. I'm also a team coach, although I don't do team coaching. I'm also a supervisor. I do a lot of that, mainly in group setting. And I think probably what Antoine said resonated with me. So learning more about it in the Asian context. Thanks. And I'm Hungarian. So add to the mix of diverse group of people.
Thank you for sharing, Sophia. So I think all of you know about Damien, so I'm not gonna invite him to share. If there's anything, Damien, you think that still we don't know about you, you can share something if you have.
I think we're missing Jason. I don't know if Jason wants to say.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Jason.
Hi, no problem, Anushly.
Our team buddy.
Right. Yeah, hi, my name is Jason Rabineau. I'm a coach, and I just finished Damian's team coaching training, and I'm pretty new to the team coaching and supervision, and I feel honored to be here kind of drinking in everyone's knowledge and experience. So thanks for having me.
Thank you for sharing. And we also see Grace here. Grace, would you like to share a few words about where are you connecting from, and what kind of coaching that you do? Are you a team coach or not? Or are you a team coach supervisor or not?
Nice to meet you, everyone. Just to be a little bit late, I just quit from another meeting. Yeah, I have learned a team coaching from the lesson from ICF team coaching class. And this year maybe advanced class, but not yet, due to the COVID-19. But actually, I don't have a lot of experience about team coaching. More is a single one-on-one coaching. And also I'm learning supervision with Demi now. Yeah, thank you to meet you all. Nice to meet you.
Great. Great.
Everybody knows me. What I can say is that today I had a very long day. I started at 8 in the morning and it's 8 in the evening, 12 hours later. And Anushly is a witness because we started together, but she's in the second day, I'm still in the same one. So, but lovely to be here.
Yes, thank you, Damit. All right, so I like to start the session with one of my team coach clients' video, like an audio. And this is purely my own experience of being a team coach and team coach supervisor. So sometimes it might resonate, it may not resonate to you, depending on what type of clients that you have, which part of the world that you represent. But I'm open to any feedback, any comments. I just want you to know. And I like also all of you to be yourself and share whatever that you feel like sharing. And I trust as coaches, we will not be judging each other for what we bring to this space. We'll be open and curious and learn, take what resonates and belongs to us and live from this space. That's the whole intention of coming together, right? So let me start with this.
Are you trying to share
Only the voice, then. Can you hear the voice?
No.
Huh?
You need to press share. Sometimes to hear some sound or voice, you need to press share and then share the sound. And then you need to choose the two squares that are there for the sound. We're looking at your computer right now where there are 3 videos. This is what we're watching. Have the courage to stand alone, vid, and video. So right now you share with us your folders. I don't think this is what you want to share. You may want to stop sharing.
You know, Damit?
Now it's coming up.
Right, okay, sorry.
Sessions started with, I was coming to the session thinking about reflecting on a project that I worked on lately and looking at what are the lessons learned. I was curious to know that, okay, this went well, this didn't go as well, and this is how I can reflect on what's happening and come up with a sort of an action plan that can help me move forward. Actually, through the conversation, and this was really very powerful conversation, amazing space that held by Anushly, that she even took me very deeply, reflecting on the whole situation and I'm going through. And I ended up with not only getting or not only reflecting on that project, it's about reflecting on who am I in my journey right now. I ended up with thinking about and moving towards connecting and reconnecting with my big why and purpose that would help me in all the decisions and the situations I'm going through now in my journey, at that time in my journey in life. So it was so powerful, starting with reflecting on a project and ending with connecting and reconnecting with my purpose. So yeah, I can't thank Yani, Anushly enough, and I'm really grateful to the space that you are holding with your, I like the way that you are I see that you reflect the partnership, that the term partnership very well. I read that I'm speaking with my partner. That's
right. So this is a pattern that I've been seeing in my sessions, that there is some kind of a deeper journey that my clients go, and they tap into something very deep which they cannot express through words, and mostly they express the way, just like how she's expressing, like knowing myself, my purpose, who am I, and that kind of connects to so many dots for so many problems that you're seeking for solutions. And this kept me wondering, like, what's really happening in these sessions? And that's when I discovered, resonating with my own personal journey also, what is really could be happening. And I also did some research around, and I'm bringing that wisdom, my own experience, and what I gathered from my client experience to this space here, right? So this is where the journey is starting from. I just want you to know. So she was talking about two things. One is connecting and reconnecting, knowing myself, knowing my purpose, and it solves many problems that I have. And she was also saying I was reflecting a true partnership. And the partnership is something that I've seen in my supervision sessions, is sometimes the coaches, they think they are being the true partner, but they are not actually being the true partner when they go and coach their clients. That's one of the trends that I've seen in my supervision session. So, so I like to go back to my own story of where I come from. I have a deep connect within myself, that I have a manifesto, like why am I doing whatever that I'm doing. I think it's very important for me as a team coach supervisor for me to know that, because as you move along with me in this presentation, you will understand that why me knowing my why or my intention is so important. Yes, Inga. I will. I may take your questions later. Is that okay, Inga? Just to make sure. Yeah, and for some reason I cannot see everybody. So if there's anything, just please unmute yourself and give a shout out, or just type in the chat, right? So the agenda is today of explore the need for belonging in a team, the binary of the team, exit and entry of the team, and a team coach's role in a team coaching, and a team coach supervisor's role in supervision. So I like to ask, what does high performing team mean to you as a person? If you're not a team coach, if you're not a coach, as a person, you can share this. Or as a team member, or as a team leader, or a team coach, or as a supervisor, in whichever the hat that you can answer this question, maybe through voice or chat. And also I like to hear one decision that you took being in one of the above position, since you had to take that. Anybody likes to share from this? What does high performing team mean to you as a team coach, or as a team leader, or a team member, or if you're a team coach supervisor? And what is that one decision that you took being in one of the above positions since you had to take it? Who likes to share?
Well, for me,
Yeah.
it's a combination of high performance, well-being, and harmony.
Okay, thank you.
All three have to be there because high performance, an army commando is high performer. Also, a Club Méditerranée team has a lot of well-being, but combination of high performance, well-being, and harmony is what I call a high-performing team.
Okay, great. So I also see Kumar saying high-performing team means realizing their potential that is beyond the current expectation of the organization. All right, great. So I also like an answer for this question. So what was that one decision that you took being in one of the above positions that I have mentioned, since you had to take it?
Actually, thinking about the decisions I take as a team coach in this in the context of high-performing team, and it might be important. The context I work like most of the time or all the time with tech, and team coaching is usually much shorter than in other organizations because teams are shorter. And the one decision I actually took is that the definition of team high, what is the high performing team in the moment for the project? My definition is not equal with team's definition very often. That because they work on a very specific projects, they might define it completely different. So one of the decisions as a team coach for me is not to assume anything in terms of how they define what high performance is for them. Because I might, for example, put too much stress on collaboration, communication, and so on. And the project is very short. They need to this team is existing for this short project only, and they might define it in a different way. Yes, but what it means for them, or what even good collaboration means for them. So if you ask about one decision I had to take, is not to assume what high-performing team is.
Right. And how were you okay about taking that decision, Inga?
No, I'm opinionated. It was really hard at the beginning. Go to the space and see that my ideas or my assumptions are not making sense in the context. Yeah, there was a challenge for me at the beginning. Yeah, to work with that.
Thank you for being open and sharing. Yes. I hear someone else.
May I just share?
Yes, sure. Murthy.
Okay. See, what I think what I found that I had to do very consciously when I was working with teams is to be inclusive, listening to people who were not talking and not sharing, as much as I was listening to people who were holding the fort all the time. Okay, and being able to sense the dynamics of individual people is something that I just had to practice it and pull it out into a conscious doing, and that's tough for me.
Thank you for sharing, Murthy. So I also see here Sim saying high performance team, shared purpose, synergies, trust and non-judgmental, collaborative spirit, leveraging strengths. And this is something that I discovered, Murthy. I know some coaches might resonate, may not resonate in team coach. Not necessarily all voices would speak in a team coaching situation. And I think it's important that as a team coach, we don't forcefully make them to speak, bring that voice out. If we really want to hear their voice, even if they don't speak, maybe we might have to tap into other ways where they can organically open up themselves. Sometimes when you're put into a space where you're forced to open up, forced to speak, because sometimes some people or some coaches might think, oh, this guy is not talking, this guy is always talking, so I need to hear from him. Can you say something? Like, he is not coming, he or she may not be coming from a comfortable place or not ready, just like coaching, right? Our client need to be ready for them to be coached. Like that, for them to open up, voice out their opinion, we need to create that space of readiness as a team coach, I believe. So probably not in the first session. I've seen that some clients may not open up in a team, but in the second session, gradually you will see that they are willing to share. They might be the first person to share even at times. Another thing I like to say is, it also depends on how do you create that comfort space where they feel like it's okay to share. And today's topic is definitely going to resonate with that, right? So let me go to the next slide. I like to ask, can you pick, like, which picture really resonates the most to you when you look at it? I want to do it like a breakout room, but we are already half an hour gone. So I'm going to do it here itself. And we have less people as well. Yeah. So which picture resonates the most to you from this?
I think, Anushly, you may have something covering part of the picture. I don't know if you have a window or something else there.
Right, Damien, I will. Can you see now?
Now it's okay.
Yeah, okay. So which picture resonates the most to you?
For me, this one, we all got both light and dark inside of us. What matters is the part we choose to act on. That's who we really are.
Thank you for sharing.
I must go with Nietzsche's quote. What is done out of love always occurs beyond good and evil. It resonates with radical candor for me. Sometimes radical candor is challenging at the beginning, but if it's done out of love, so there is caring in it, it goes beyond good and evil.
Right. One more voice, can we hear?
I'd go with inside each of us, there's a seed of both good and evil. And so it's not about judging, but becoming aware of who we are.
So you can clearly see that different people pick different things based on what resonates with them, because as an individual, I requested them to choose from you. If I have sent you all to a breakout room asking, okay, can you pick one picture which resonates the most to you as a team? There's someone who would have said yes because they just want to fit into that box or fit into that place. So most of the time, there will be people who are in part of a team who are trying to fit themselves into that space or team because they just want to be there, be a team member, or they have been told to, or they want to, or they have to, can be from any space, right? So we will have members like this when we are trying to coach a team. What happens when you are trying to fit into something where it doesn't feel like you belong to? That's when you are actually putting a barrier for your own self and to your own potential. So if in a team, if there are members who are trying to fit into the team because of something, or if there is a coach, team coach, who's trying to fit into something, just like Inga shared, I have to do this because I don't have a choice, right? What happens is it may create a block and not allowing the full potential to emerge from that space, in that coaching space. And same thing applies when a supervisor also doesn't show up with that. So last couple of days, my reflection has been about my health, right? So I'm just reflecting my whole self. And what we are realizing is we are always conditioned to embrace the goodness rather than embrace what's not working well, what's bad, what's dark, what's ugly. So acceptance comes with vulnerability and courage. And I also feel that the more and more that we say the coaching conversations are confidential, supervision space is very confidential, we are also could be, not necessarily always, could be creating a threat for vulnerability and courage. Because confidentiality means that you're telling indirectly to that person, you don't have to be vulnerable. Outside this space, you can be vulnerable only in this space. So possibly you might be coaching a team who might be talking about values which doesn't align. I want to practice integrity in my team, but my team is not allowing me to do that. Or my organization is not allowing me to do that. So this person is vulnerable in your coaching space, but not okay about being vulnerable, not courageous enough in the organization space or in the outer world. Unknowingly, I have this feeling, it's my own reflection, that feeling like we are creating a bridge by our own coaching model. And also something else that I've seen is coaches are sometimes busy doing and being for the clients. Like, I'm going to serve this client, I'm going to do this for the client, I'm going to be there as the coach for the client, but they are not being for themselves enough. So in a team coaching supervision session, when they sit with their team coaching supervisor, it allows him to pause and reflect about the team that they belong to within their own self first. So most of the time we think team means more than one person, but actually there is a team even within us. We have so many different faces that we have within us. Maybe to the world, we are only showing few faces. So when we really reflect on these questions about being and doing, okay, how comfortable are you being in this team? What is that you can be in this team? What is that you can't be in this team? What is that you can be as a team coach? What is that you can't be as a team coach? Or what is that you can be as a team?
I think we lost her for a minute. She may need to go back. Before we're in a meeting and her internet was not stable, so she needs to leave and come back. What is interesting is that she's talking here in terms of supervising, not only the team coach, the team coach who is working with a team and a leader, but it sounds like Anushly is also talking about supervising the team itself versus coaching. Do you hear that difference? Inga, are you going to say something about that?
Yeah, I think that what Peter Hawkins always highlights, that when we work with the leader who leads the team, very often we help. It's almost like the supervision of the team, that we supervise the team through the leader's work. And when we work with the team coach, we do the team coaching supervision. However, I was really interested in this differentiation between being and doing. Who are as a team coach and what you do as a team coach. I was interested what Anushly was going with that somehow. So, she's back.
We lost you for a minute.
Yes, Sri Lanka is going through a crisis situation, and right now the power cut is on. So that's the reason the call got dropped. I just fixed my laptop to an alternative device. And where did you miss me? If you tell me, I'll continue from there.
Okay, so what do you want to share again? Inga was talking about that slide, about the being and doing.
Yeah, I'm curious about this being and doing. What is how you see the difference? How you define the difference here?
Right. Okay. Great. So I just want to. Right. Okay. So So the being is your presence. If you go to ICF competency, you see the first 2 competency, the new competency speaks about being, and the rest of the 6 speaks about the doing. Okay. But in supervision, it's almost about working on the being of the coach. A supervisor helps you on how do you show up as a coach to your client. That's what the supervisor is helping you on. So whenever you reflect on these questions of being and doing, if there's anywhere that you're feeling that you're not so comfortable, that is where that you need to go back and ask yourself, what is that making you to feel like you have to do this? Now, when you are coming, just think about small children, right? When you're asking them that you have to do this, how much do they rebel? How much they feel like they don't want to do this, right? But as adults, like we are sometimes trying to adjust, convince, and doing those things. Now, when we are trying to adjust our own values, beliefs, or our thinking, what happens is our fullest potential is not emerging, not flowing outside to serve our clients. So my question is, when you're reflecting these questions of being and doing, there's somewhere that you will have an answer where you're doing it because you have to do it, not like your personal choice. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about here. Like, whenever you have to, it's about your internal beliefs, which can happen with comfort or discomfort. So someone has told that you have to brush your teeth in the morning, so you're brushing your teeth. Now, do you feel like, yeah, this is something that I want to do? Then that's a little different. Have to and want to. So in a team, if you really want to get the maximum potential, you might want to think as a team coach, how can I convert the have to as I want to? More and more, every team member start thinking as I want to, and that's when they are working from their own being. When they're working from their own being, their fullest potential opens up. And this not applies only for the team, but also for the team leader, also for the team coach, and also for the team coach supervisor. So to create a high performance team, I want to comes with liking, with fully owned commitment in alignment to the common purpose, whatever the purpose that they're working for. The marketing corporate world has made people or teams to become obliged to many of their actions. And it comes from the place that they don't belong to. They're doing it because, oh, I need to do this. It's not, if not like for courtesy, we do things, something like that. So what happens is it doesn't bring out the fullest potential of that person. It feels like I'm under obligation or I have to. So it's like giving your power to somebody else. So when each and every team member or team leader, or it can be even team coach, is operating from the space of I'm giving my power to somebody else, what happens is it might sound great in the beginning, but it is not sustainable. It may come from an autopilot mode, such as doing because someone else is doing because someone told I have to do it, but in a long term, it's not sustainable. So I'm just connecting it to the binary of doing and being, how it's connected here. So when you're doing, in the doing mode, mostly you're in the automatic pilot mode, analyzing, striving, seeing thoughts as truth, avoiding, as coaches, sometimes they're avoiding to sit and reflect about their own journey as a coach. So that's when a team coaching supervision session really helps you to sit, pause, slow down, and reflect what's really happening with me and my team that I'm coaching. Okay, so because they're more seriously doing and being for the client, but not for themselves. And same thing that applies with the team leaders also. If you notice, they're so busy, but they don't sit and really reflect and see what's really happening here. How much am I being and how much am I doing? And most of the organizations offer promotion based on the doing rather than the being. Do you understand what I mean by that? Right? So we are more of operating in a world where there's more of doing, more applaud is given for doing. If you do more, you're applauded. But what we are not understanding is the real power is in the being. When you find out that power in the being, the possibility of doing can accelerate to multiple times. Okay, so when you're in the being, it's a conscious choice. So for example, if I have to say my own life shifted from the point I started making choices, I do it only when I want to do it. I never do it because someone else told me to do it, or I read something about it. My inner self, when it says, okay, I want to do it, then I choose to do it. And nobody can stop me after that. And that power is so magical. What comes out of that is so magical. And it stretches you beyond. And I'm talking this from my own experience. So the same thing that I'm seeing in my clients too when I'm coaching. And I think the team coaches do have the power to help their clients, teams, to find that power that I'm talking about. Okay. So, so first of all, the team coaching or the supervision or whatever, the belonging and everything has to be taken care of within your own self, the team that you have within yourself. Okay. You need to have a conversation with your own team. Your own team is being created by two main things. Again, I call it the binary, which is the fear and love. And I think one of the speakers who is speaking for the conference is also going to talk about this, and he has a book around this. Damien can say more about him. So I got to know about the fear and love when I started getting myself into therapy. Every action, if you really evaluate and see, it's either coming from a place of fear or it's coming from a place of love. Now, if somebody is saying you should not be fearful, you should always do from the space of love, I will deny them. Because when something doesn't exist, only you know the value of the other. When you have fear, you know the value of love. When you have love, like it need to coexist for you to understand the power of love that can create in this world. Okay, so you need to create a sense of belonging to your own self, saying, okay, I as a supervisor, if you're a supervisor, or as a coach, okay, I belong to all these different parts. I'm an angry supervisor, I'm a lazy supervisor, I'm a happy supervisor, I'm a helpful supervisor, all the good and bad. I'm fearful, and being okay about it. Then you come from your whole belonging to serve your client. Then when you come from your whole belonging to serve your client, whichever that the other two diagrams that I'm showing here is the teams. The teams can be created in many multiple ways. But when you go there to the space, your sense of belonging also reflects on the team that you're working with, or on the team coach that you're working with. And that plays a powerful role, because our presence, this is something I have seen, I always wonder how magical is that. Our presence really drives the conversation. You don't have to even talk as a coach a lot if you're really present. Okay, so that is like a mastering level, I would say. I'm not saying I'm there, but I'm seeing the difference what it could bring. And so what we're talking about here is being, not doing. You don't have to have a lot of tools to help your team to keep driving forward. Now that's what the world is saying. But in reality, if you just be there and be completely present, and you can be completely present only when you feel that you belong to your own self. When you feel like you don't belong to your own self, every story that you hear, the parts of it, you start connecting to that, thinking, it's part of me, like I'm to it. That the detachment, you have a challenge with your detachment. Okay, so this is some exploration. So when I can't be true to myself, I can't be true to others. And I will seek from outside attention, validation, need for inclusion, sense of belonging, respect from others, approval from others to be myself. But everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. That's what Carl says. Okay. So sense of inclusion and belonging starts with answering the question, do I feel like I belong to myself? This is when we start seeking for questions such as, who am I? Like, I'm just taking this here. Why am I here? The purpose discovery journey happens. So when you really try, and this is like a continuous journey. I'm not saying like you get an answer today and that's it. And throughout the life, it's not like that. It's a continuous journey. You will keep evolving in this journey. And I'm sharing with my own personal experience also, because what I have written showed you as a manifesto today. I'm not going to say that it's going to be the same maybe after 1 year. It will evolve based on where I am in my journey. Same thing that for the team that you're working with. The purpose, sometimes we get so much fixated to the purpose, what was announced to us when we started the contract, but we don't recognize that even that purpose can evolve. Even that team members can evolve. Even that team leader can evolve. So what are those unseen or not noticed shifts that's happening that we don't know? But okay, if we can help our client to come from a space of love, that is compassion, empathy, helping, supporting, caring, coming together, connection, humanity as one, and hope, rather than from blame, anxiety, worry, panic, hate, anger, disconnect, or hopelessness. Okay, that is when you will have less conflicts within a team. So how to help your client to come from a space of love is only when they feel that they belong to themselves. That is when they start discovering love within themselves. When they start discovering love within themselves, they also share that effortlessly it will be shared, that energy will be shared within the team. And this also applies to the team coach, and this also applies to the supervisor. And when I hold the spaces, one thing that I have noticed is, naturally, who am I in my discovery journey? I'm more of a being person than doing person. And I was chastened throughout my childhood for not doing. I was not acknowledged for being a being person. And finally, I found a profession which helps me to be myself, which is coaching or supervision. I have to just be myself, be in the being, right? So I think it's important to understand what would help my client to, feel like they belong to their own self. And still they can be part of the team and contribute to the common purpose, so that they can come from the space of love, function from the space of love. And it doesn't mean the fear will not exist. It will coexist, as I said, but they will also know how to move between the love and the fear, the dance, how to do the dance. So I'm also saying, currently my country is going through a situation, a crisis situation. People ask me how you can be resilient. So I just tell them, resilient is not a pride. Now that's the problem with the world. The someone being resilient, you see them like, oh, you're wonderful, you're someone like higher than the others, like you give the pride to them. It's about, I am also a normal human. I also cry. I also have my weaknesses, but I'm using my techniques of being in that resilient place by belonging to myself. So most of the time I live in my heart rather than living in the outside world and the media. So that helps me to feel like I belong to myself, bring love to myself, and bring love to my clients, no matter what's happening in the world. So I'm going to be a little quick because of the time, so excuse me. But so in my definition, a team is a symbol of authentic collaboration. Organically, they collaborate, and there's no competition. Now, that's competition also takes away the authenticity. I have my 2 kids, I'm telling, when my daughter compares herself with my son, now her real power doesn't come out. I see that. And I have seen that among the clients too. But when I create the space, even in the group coaching sessions or group supervision session, I've said, when I create the space that you can be yourself, you can be your own power, you hold your own power, give them the feeling and sense of belonging to them, through the way I hold the space, it really brings the real power, just like what you heard in the beginning of the session. So it's basically a collaborative space, no competition, because competition is connected to fear and it's not connected to love. Collaboration is connected to love, okay? And compassion is connected to love. So it's made up by members. I call it nomads. I'll tell you why. The moment you try to say, this is mine, this is my team, this is it, kind of a thing, you're trying to say that the journey is very linear. But organically, naturally, the journey is spiral. Spiral, you have in and out movement, okay? So when in an organization, the problem is they put up a structure and they say, this is it. And they don't give the space for flexibility. But as human beings, we are comfortable being flexible. Okay, as a team, if you want to bring the best potential, you need to give that flexibility. So
I'm actually sorry for interrupting, but you have only 1 minute to wrap up. So I want to be sure that if there is anything you want to say to wrap up, you cover that before we finish, because many people will have to go in a minute. Sure, Damien. So I will finish with this slide probably, and I will quickly move on to a few slides which I might resonate. So this, the moment you understand it's a spiral journey and it's like a nomad, you go to a team, you fulfill the purpose, and after, when you're fulfilling the purpose, you feel like you belong to yourself. You need to feel like you belong to yourself while you fulfill that purpose. Then you give your 100% to that. Now, as the purpose evolves, as the organization evolves, as the team evolves, if you ever feel like, if your team member is feeling like they don't belong to that place, I mean, they don't belong to themselves, not to that place actually, then it's, you need to be okay about letting them go rather than holding on to them. And allow someone who can come in and contribute more. So because of the timing, I'm not going to take, I will just take you through the few slides that I'm sharing here. Yeah. So the question that I like to leave you with is, like, ask yourself, do I belong to myself, my purpose? Do I understand and align to the purpose of the coach and the system that I'm supervising? If you're a supervisor, this is a question you need to ask yourself. If you're a coach, you might have to ask yourself, do I belong to myself, my purpose? Do I understand and align to the purpose of the organization and the system that I'm coaching? Now, when you're not aligning, these are the cases that you bring for the supervision sessions. So these are, again, in a nutshell, all what I'm talking about is the binary that we live with. And the more and more we acknowledge that binary between being and doing, love and fear, structure and flow, because these are the types of, conversations that are brought in my team coaching supervision sessions. Ego and love, the underlining thing is this, and even the masculine, feminine. Now, sometimes we think if you are a female, we are a feminine. If you are a male, we are a masculine. But the truth is, we have both masculine and feminine. And we also keep shifting. The proportion keeps shifting. Sometimes in our journey, our masculine is more. Sometimes in our journey, our feminine is more. And the moment you bring balance between both of these, the fullest potential can be brought out. So this is what I said, being okay about the entry and exit of a team. Yeah, so I don't think I have enough time. This is my last slide, which says our greatest strength lies not in how much we differ from each other, but in how very much we are the same. So can you see this picture? The heart says, I belong to myself, but still I can contribute so beautifully outside to the world while I can be myself.
That's all from me. And thank you, Damien, for the extra 2 minutes that you gave me. Any questions you want to answer? And I like to know.
What we can do is if anybody can stay and want to ask questions, we can stay for people who can stay and want to have a couple of questions. And if you need to go, we'll see you next month. We are going to cover the same topic, probably, from a different perspective. And thank you, Anushly, formally. And now we are going to stay for people who can stay for a few more minutes and ask some questions. I think you covered many different topics, so I'm sure there may be some questions. So anybody want to ask a couple of questions before we go?
I actually wrote down the question in the chat box about the limitation of roles, because Anushly, you highlighted that if you truly are ourselves, that we do things we want to do, then we realize our full potential. And it's somehow, there's a paradox in that, yeah, because whenever we get into the new role, this role has limitations. And there are things we need to obey, or we can or we cannot do. Even as a team coach, there are certain things which are described in the competences. So I'm actually thinking about this, like the balance, yeah? Is it the state like from the day one, or is it something you would unfold in a team coaching supervision? Because I feel as a team coach and as a supervisor as well, that I understand that there are some limitations to my role. And there are things I can or I cannot do, but I feel that I realized my potential. So there is a very interesting paradox for me there.
Thank you for sharing that, Inga. Don't you think there's something that we do in supervision? We share what we feel in the moment, in the here and now, and we ask, does it resonate with you? Right? So if it resonates with you that this is the best thing to do, I think as a supervisor, you need to be true to yourself and share it in that here and now. That's when you belong to yourself and you bring the value. See, the problem that we have in the system is we are saying values are very important, but when we get into structures and systems, we don't really stand for those values. So for an example, a coach coming and saying, you know what, integrity is something, my key value, but this organization is not allowing. So what can you do as a supervisor? Helping the coach to identify how can you contribute by helping the person to become courageous, to stand up for their values. I think a coach can play a major role on that, just like how parents can play a major role for their kids. We are talking about solutions, we are not actually contributing to the solutions when it comes to the structured system that we are working within. So it's time maybe for us to reflect, first of all, what are my values? What is that I belong to? And then you go there, be present, and share the here and now with your coach that you're coaching, the team coach. And help him to figure out what is his belonging. Through that, he will also start, it's like a ripple effect, basically, we are doing. And I'll tell you, I was in tears when I walked out from my supervision graduation ceremony last year. I like to share the personal story here. Because I'm going to be 40 next year. And like I was 38 then last year. For 38 years, I've been fighting for something that, for the feeling of belonging, like I'm validation from others. And my supervision training really helped. And I was like, my closest family members are not understanding, not recognizing the work that I'm doing. So it was coming from a feeling of belonging. We are always talking about in an organization, we have diverse of people. So you make sure they feel belong. Actually, the need is not for the organization to make you feel belong. You need to feel belong to your own self. And when I walked out from the supervision session, that is the day I felt like I found my own home. And when I say my own home, it's my heart. And I'm bringing this story not just from the books, I'm bringing this from my own experience. And
it's interesting this angle that you're bringing, Anushly, about belonging, because that's a creative, different place that you're bringing from your own experience. And I think that you may want to develop that and see how that plays in coaching, in team coaching, and in team coaching supervision. What would be something unique and different you're bringing? I think it's a very interesting place to, it's a little bit philosophical, but it's about self-awareness, and can be interesting to be able to be present about what we are able to see in groups when we are coaching a team or when we're supervising a team coach that may resonate or not to us because of issues around belonging. So that can be a whole topic for research and exploration, and I think that I want to support you, to encourage you to go, because that will be unique, that will be different. Because a lot of things that I heard in the presentation, like you covered many different things. Like I feel like you were going here and then there, like in different places. And many of these places who are very interested are also overlapping with coaching and with coaching supervision. So I was wondering, okay, what is unique and what was different from what you were bringing? And I think that here may be an angle that may be different.
Yes.
And if you start ask people here, everybody have probably stories about belonging. You know, like as an immigrant, Inga, like me, you know, like coming to this country and belonging. My first meeting at ICF Los Angeles chapter, I felt I don't belong here. And I ended up being the president of the organization. So, you know, you never know. You never know. It's kind of, that can be a very interesting issue for us to explore together. So I wonder if anybody else have any other question before we go.
I got just one that's very fascinating that we initially raised. What is it I can't be as a team coach? That question just resonates for me. What is it I can't be as a supervisor? So that's something I'm taking away. Just wondering what comes to your mind when you ask that question.
Was that a reflection or was a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering, could you just, bring up something that comes to you when you ask that question?
Okay. So what I can be, so for an example, India was sharing, I can be this, but I can't be this, because in the beginning of the session, she was sharing this, right? So
yeah,
my question is
an example of what I can be.
I can be, I have my limitations of what I can be and what I can't be. Okay, now my question to you is, who is setting those limitations? Who is deciding what I can be and what I can't be? If you're allowing someone else to decide, that means you're giving away the power to somebody else and you don't feel like you belong to yourself. And that's when your fullest potential might not be open up, might not open up.
Okay.
So there is a other side to it where we have been conditioned to feel like we belong to each other. So when you are trying to belong to your own self, the whole world will say that you're doing it wrong. I'm also sharing this. Okay. So I have my own family members saying that you don't know what's happening here. Like you're just full of coaching and all. And I say, I feel like I belong to myself when I sit in the coaching space. So I'm okay with that. And I need to be okay with that. So it's a kind of a very courageous journey, but definitely it will bring the best potential out of you. That's my own experience I'm sharing.
Thank you.
Just to let you know, in France, we have developed a concept which is what we call the we, which it means that in a team, there is an additional player, an entity, the we, which plays like, it's not like a person, but the team coach has to deal with the members and has to deal with the we. And for the members, the problem is should I belong to myself or should I belong to the we? So and that's a whole, there is a whole construction around that which simplifies, in fact, the approach of team coaching and team coaching supervision.
Very interesting.
Michelle, any sources you can share about that? Because that's really interesting about this we concept.
I think we need to invite. I think we need to invite Michelle to come to talk about that to all of us. Yeah, Michelle.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
Can you join us in, let's say,
a week on that.
In July? In July, are you available in July?
Yes.
Okay. So in June we have Catherine Holt, and in July we invite you to come back and keep talking about team coaching, supervision,
okay,
based on what you're bringing and other distinctions, other ideas.
That resonates with me as a team coach, that I want to work with we. I don't want to come with my assumptions, like I and what I think is the most important somehow. So I'm actually very curious about that, and there is as well a lot of, I think, trust and belonging, because I'm not the part of the team, but I want to work with we, so I don't want to bring or influence or impact people so much with
exactly. So you will know everything about it in July then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Thank you for accepting the invitation. Thank you, Anushly.
Thank you, everyone. And I hope there was some key takeaway to all of you from this. And this was an amazing journey for me personally. In case if it doesn't resonate, okay, we know that we are diverse, right? So we accept the diversity.
Thank you, Anushly. Thank you very much. And if anybody wants to talk to you, Anushly, do you want to put your email in the chat room if anybody want to be in touch with you? So.
Yes. So one moment. I'm just typing here. This is my own discovery, so I'm happy to have this conversation going. And I think in my research, I also found Brain Brown talking about belonging also.
Yeah.
So that is something maybe you can go and watch. And when yesterday, Damien, you were talking about it, I just resonated. It's so powerful. I mean, how much we are conditioned, we don't know. There's so much conditioned.
Thank you, Anushly. Thanks, everybody.
Thank